About 18 months ago, I was looking at my life and I'm like, what do I want to do with my life? And my kids were nearly full grown and I was thinking like, what's that next chapter? And I'd been going back and forth on, could I do van life? Maybe not, maybe I can, no I can't. But then I got into a place where I was like, I know I can do this, but I had to make a decision. Did I want someone to build it for me or did I want to build it myself? So I said, I bet you I can build this. I have a background of understanding how things go together. So I knew what it meant to take cars apart to an extent and put them back together. And I believe that I could do an entire van build with information that was on YouTube. So I decided to buy a van myself and completely empty Sprinter 170 extended cargo van. And I planned out 12 months for the build. So I had to figure out when I was doing the build, what were the pros and cons of van life? So watching video after video, what people loved about van life and what people absolutely had challenges with. So when I decided how I was going to solve the two things, hot and cold, first I wanted to make sure that I had the proper heating system. So I have heated floors and a hydronic heating system for forced air, and that's from the amazing company Van Life Tech. But I think the biggest one, because most van life scenarios have heat, it's the cooling. It's the summertime. It's the traveling around from one state to the next. All of a sudden the sun's beating down. How are you going to keep the van cool? So as I researched company after company, air conditioner after air conditioner, there was only one company that I knew was the solution, and that was Nomadic Cooling. I knew that their air conditioner, both for how it was going to handle what I was going to ask from it, but also what it was going to be like when it was installed. Like, what did it look like, both on the top of the van and on the inside of the van? And then probably the most important thing to me, other than making sure that it can handle the cooling capacity, was what did it sound like? And from my research and then making the phone calls and talking to Nomadic Cooling, time and time again, it really came back to, this is the quietest air conditioner on the market. And that reason, I was like, take my money. I'm sold. I want this air conditioner in my van. So I made it happen, and it was one of the most amazing, easy, phenomenal installs from start to finish. All the directions were there. It was easy to follow, popped it in, all the wiring was there. And it was one of those things where I had to put the air conditioner in first. And yes, I bench tested it, so I knew it worked. But I was able to throw the air conditioner in, run the wiring through the walls, and then when I got to the phase when I finally installed my electrical system, it literally was plug and play. I connected it to the electrical system, turned on the air conditioner, boom, perfect, start to finish. It was amazing. Air conditioning for me absolutely changed my travels because I didn't have to think about where I was going to park to make sure that the van was at its coolest. Sure, I want to make sure that I'm not having to ask the air conditioner to run at max at all times, but it also allowed me some leeway to say, look, I can park the van, and if I happen to be in a scenario where the van's heating up, I can just easily turn on the air conditioner and it's going to cool to the climate temperature that I need within the van. And because I have that climate control, I don't worry about like, oh, I have to be at this part of the country at this time of year or that part of the country at that time of year. I just simply say, what's the adventure? What's the speaking engagement? Where do I have to be? And I'm going. Because sometimes I don't have the luxury of deciding that I can only be in one region of the country because I have to go for speaking engagements. So because that dictates where I am during that time of year, like I'm gonna be in the Southwest, I'm gonna be in Phoenix in some of the hottest months of the year. And I know that this air conditioner is going to handle whatever I throw at it. And I'm gonna be comfortable and sleep all night long at the proper temperatures. I'm gonna wake up refreshed. I'm gonna be super fired up for the day because I was able to sleep so well with the proper cooling that the van needs. Check me out on the socials on Instagram and TikTok at Kenyon Saylo. Be super rad to see you there, and I look forward to meeting some of you along the way.